Hey guys, it's Ross going on Space Coach. I'm going to have a look through this. Liners of the Southampton and the Solent by Barry J. Eagles. And then he's on the back. So, let's see what we have in here. So we have the Queen Elizabeth and the Queen Mary on this page. Beautiful ships, absolute classic. There's loads of ships in here I've never heard of, by the way. Then we have the Mauretania and the Coronia. There is the Mauretania. I didn't know there were any colour photos of it. Or maybe that's just a colourised photo, I don't know. And some of them are far more elegant looking than others. Then the Saxonia and the Carmania. This is the Saxonia, that's the Carmania. Then the QE2 and the Arundel Castle. That's the QE2, of course. That's the Arundel Castle. It looks like these are actually part of the ship, doesn't it? So it looks a bit ungainly in that image. Then we have the Stirling Castle and the Edinburgh Castle. That's the Stirling Castle. That's the Edinburgh Castle. I've been to both of those castles. Then the Pendennis Castle and the Windsor Castle. That's Pendennis, that's the Windsor Castle. There is a Fu Manchu movie in the 1960s where the Windsor Castle gets destroyed by a laser beam as part of Fu Manchu's dastardly plans. Then we have the Reina del Mar and the Oronsay. That's the Reina, that's the Oronsay. Again, it looks like, I don't know, are those cranes part of the superstructure? Yes, they are. Then we have the Orsova and the Oriana. Also, that's Oriana. There's been many Oriana ships. I think there's still some now. They're more cruise liners now. The Strathmore and the Stratheden. That's the Strathmore. That's the Stratheden. Very interesting, all the deck configuration on this one, how it's open. That looks like a very classic early 20th century ship. Then the Chusan and the Himalaya. This is the Chusan, that's the Himalaya. They look to be quite similar when you see the configuration, say, here and here. Maybe in the same sort of class, I don't know. I don't really know much about ships at all, please do correct me. Then the Arcadia and the Canberra, that's the Arcadia, that's the Canberra. Canberra is very famous in this country. It was a, I don't know if it's an ocean liner or a cruise ship, but famously went into the Falklands War as a hospital ship, I believe. And a troop transport. Then the Sea Princess and the Island Princess. It's the Sea Princess, that's the Island Princess. That's quite an elegant looking ship. I do like the bridge superstructure, that's very nice. Then the Oriana, another Oriana, and the SS Uganda, which I think I've heard of, but I can't remember the context. That's the Oriana. They're quite modern looking as cruise ships go. I mean, for 21st century cruise ships, this obviously would have been in the previous century. But there you go, there's the Uganda. The Navasa and the Oriole. This is the Navasa, this is the Oriole. Then the Andes and the Southern Cross. This is the Andes, this is the Southern Cross. Interesting how it steps back here. Looks like there's a chunk missing. Then, yes. Then the Northern Star and the Ocean Monarch. This is the Monarch, that's the Ocean Star. It looks like it's missing several decks, doesn't it? It looks a little too low. There's only like one deck above the, several decks of course, one deck above the main hull. Then the SS United States and the SS France. This is the United States with that very long bow section. And there's the France. The United States was the fastest ocean liner, of course. 38 knots, I think it managed to get up to. Then we have the Flander and the New Amsterdam. The New Amsterdam looks very long, doesn't it? Now, I don't know if this is the one that's been preserved in the Netherlands. I'm not sure. No, there was a ship that was preserved in the Netherlands, but I'm not certain if it was that one. Then the Daphne and the Kungsholm. This is a Daphne, this is a Kungsholm. Quite elegant looking, both of them. Then the Val and the Orange, these are South African ships. That's the Val, as in Transvaal, and that's the Orange, as the Orange. Only has one funnel. The Leonid Sobinov and the Taras Shevchenko. This is the Leonid, this is the Shevchenko. That is quite an elegant design. These are Soviet ships now, of course. Then the Shota Rustaveli and the Maxim Gorky. This is Rustaveli, this is the Gorky. Then the Stefan Batory and the Irpinia. This is the Irpinia, this is the other one. Then we have the Ascania and the Leonardo da Vinci. This is the Ascania, that's Leonardo da Vinci. Obviously, that's an Italian liner. This might be too, I'm not sure. It's very elegant looking. Then we have the Kili Lauro and the Ferski. This is the Ferski. This is the Kili Lauro, where obviously there was the terrorist attack on that ship where the passengers were kidnapped and some of them died. And then I think later it suffered an accident. It was a very unhappy ship, unfortunately. Then we have the Fair Star and the Saga Fjord. So Fair Star, that's the fjord. Very elegant looking. I assume these would be for Arctic cruisers and along the Norwegian fjords. Then the Vista Fjord and the Calypso. This is a fjord, this is a Calypso. This just looks a little unbalanced here. In my expert view of ocean liner design critique, of course. Then we have the Albatross and the Hanseatic. This is the Albatross, this is Hanseatic. Again, this is one where it looks like there could be another couple of decks on there. It looks a little unbalanced, with this being much larger, it appears. We have the Australis and the Europa. So the Australis, that's Europa. And those colours you may recognise the orange and blue of Hapag-Lloyd, which was originally the Hamburg America line, which is where Hapag comes from. Then we have the Elenis and the Britannis. This is the Elenis, this is the Britannis. I've never heard of most of these ships, and that is it, in fact. So, yes, interesting little dive, as it were, into the liners of Southampton and the Solent, all the cruise ships, the ocean liners and stuff, some very famous older ships as well as the more modern ones. This looks like it might be in the 80s or the 90s if it's got the Canberra, the Kili Lauro and the Orianas in there, so that must be when that comes from. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for a topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.